Hello, Rachel here. Welcome to my SlowTVStitchery. Well, good morning everybody. I'm hoping that I'll be able to see what I'm doing today. It's sufficiently cool that not only have I ended up wearing my fingerless mittens, and not just the elastic ones but actually woolly ones, but my glasses steamed up as I was sitting down getting myself organised. So if I suddenly fall silent and disappear, it's because I can't see what I'm doing. So progress is being made here. I reckon that if I sit down and work at it solidly, in a morning I can do about 2 rows. I seem to end up starting somewhere in the middle, so I go up and back again, and in that way sort of quietly creeps along. I'm working on the pattern of the lower border. I've actually got to the top of the pattern on the upper border. I'm tackling Nefertiti's famous profile, very nearly as famous as Cleopatra's. And every now and again, when I'm working, the sunlight on the spiral over Akhenaten's heart becomes a little bit psychedelic, and I have to stop for a while and get my eyes back in shape. Now, as I've said before, some of the details are easier to put in later when I actually have a starting point for them. So although I may decide that this element of Nefertiti's headdress echoing Akhenaten's, which is going to be in gold couching gold, how very Egyptian, I think I will do that when I've actually got 2 or 3 stitches to do it from, and that will help me find the uraeus, which will be marginally easier, I hope. So since I've been working this, I've decided to abandon the pleating in Nefertiti's dress, at least at this stage, and I'm going to take out what's there. I'm not pleased with how it's falling, and I think when I'm undistracted by the lines that I drew to give myself a reminder that I intended to put something there, I will probably do a better job of it. So I need to take out the blue, put in some white and tackle it later. Somebody's asked about the unpicking. It's all a bit improvised. I am going to try very hard not to catch any of the white, but it's possible that I will. It's so closely stitched that they're unlikely to undo themselves. I almost have to cut through every stitch to get it out, so the thread certainly won't be reusable, and it's likely to be almost impossible to finish it off tidily. So the solution is to make sure that any stitching which is reinstated traps as many of the ends as possible, and then, well, this isn't going to be a piece that's going to receive any wear. I can imagine doing myself a fabulous ornue collar or something, but I would be inclined to make it detachable from whatever garment. And this is going to be mounted somehow and displayed somehow, and it's not going to be encouraged to move. Not that I can imagine, anyway. My current thinking, and I'm not sure what color I'm likely to use, but my current thought is to create a sort of stealer out of fabric covered card, maybe, and mount this on the stealer so it's freestanding and quite impressive, I think. As I said, I'm not sure as yet whether that's really what I'm going to do. It's my current idea. I know I keep on saying this, but the constantly changing angles don't half keep me on my toes. So when I come back to this section, I think I've got enough that I can start on that turquoise bit. Not quite ready for the next blue section. I think this is going to be my final Dreams of Amana piece. I've now got enough pieces that I've got an interesting challenge in working out how to display them, and I don't really want to have done them and not display them. And I want to move on. I have ideas for a piece about the golden fleece. Jason and Middy are going to the oak grove to retrieve the fleece which is hung on a tree. And a fairly epic hanging of the conversion of Placidus, which, if I ever get round to it, is going to be something of the order of 4 foot by 5 foot. Even by my standards, that's a big one. And so, yeah, I want to move on to one of those. full white thread is doing a much better job, I think, of looking white, which is always a consideration. It's very hard to tell from the photograph I have of the steamer just what Nefertiti is wearing. So some renditions give her a rather 1960s looking miniskirt, which doesn't seem right at all. So this is very much me creating something that I think will work visually. It shows Nefertiti wearing not the same as Akhenaten. And it hasn't given me the challenge of trying to render a transparent dress with the woman underneath it, which I think would be more of a challenge than necessarily I would want to face. But I do note that next time I stop, I need to go round here and remove quite a lot of knots. I leave the away knots as long as possible because I like to make sure that the thread is very firmly attached and held down. It shouldn't be a problem because there's so much stitching that all the stitches hold each other in place. But silk is a slippy material, so just in case, as much help as I can give it seemed like a good thought. That's all for this episode. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed following along. Happy stitching!